Titles and the fivefold ministry. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 11 to 16. And he himself gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the equipping of the saints for the work of ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ, that we should no longer be children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men, in the cunning craftiness of deceitful plotting, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up in all things into him who is the head, Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the effective working by which every part does its share, causes growth of the body for the edifying of itself in love. There is nothing in the scriptures that suggests that the fivefold ministry of apostle, prophet, teacher, evangelist, and pastor is a hierarchy. He appointed first apostles, second prophets, third teachers as foundational callings at the establishment of the early church, and not necessarily that these offices are higher in ranking. Christ is the head of the church and not any of the above ministry gifts. The notion that the apostle or prophet is a much higher and superior calling in ranking than that of a pastor, evangelist, or teacher is unfounded. It has become a growing trend that many that started off their callings as pastors, evangelists, and teachers have now elevated to either prophet or apostle. The ministry of the apostle and prophet are different in function and responsibility only, but not better or higher than that of the pastor, evangelist, or teacher. It is important to note that it is God who gives the ministry gifts according to his grace and a measure of faith. We cannot pick and choose what ministry office we think suits us best. God anoints us according to the ministry office in which we are called. It is therefore futile for us to pick and choose what ministry office we think suits us best or appears to be higher than others. We can only be effective by operating in the exact office God has called us and not in the one we prefer. All the five ministry offices must work in harmony with one another. The apostle's ministry is non-effective without the complementary inputs of the other four ministry offices. The teacher's ministry is incomplete without the other four, and so is that of the prophet, evangelist, and pastor, respectively. Does everyone in the church need to be called to the fivefold ministry or carry a title in order to do the work of the ministry? No. God has empowered every believer to be a witness of Christ, and the fivefold ministry teaches and prepares him or her to be effective in the work of the ministry to a lost world. There are other gifts apart from the fivefold ministry that God has given to the body of Christ that are also important for the edification of the believers, and without which the church would be inadequately served. And God has appointed these in the church: first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, administrations, varieties of tongues. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 28. Be blessed.